You may have been told that focusing on yourself is selfish, that making time for your goals, your peace, and your growth is somehow wrong. But that view needs to change. Prioritizing yourself is not selfish. It is one of the most valuable things you can do for those around you and for the life you are building. When you focus on your own development, you show up as someone clear, capable, steady, and in control of their direction. There is nothing selfish about that. Society often praises self-sacrifice, encouraging constant availability to support others, even at personal cost. Yet this path rarely leads to fulfillment. Instead, it leads to exhaustion, regret, and disconnection from yourself. When you continually place others' needs above your own, you begin to lose sight of your own desires. That is not noble. It is neglect. You have one life, and you alone live with your choices, your discipline, and your aspirations. No one else carries that responsibility. So why give control of your future to someone else's expectations or opinions? You were not created to sit in the passenger seat. You were meant to drive, and that requires action, not passivity. A meaningful, successful life is not built by waiting for permission. It is built by choosing yourself again and again. This is about investment, doing the work both inside and out to become the kind of person capable of handling the success you pursue. Success is not only about wealth or recognition, it is also about carrying responsibility, making sound decisions, and leading with consistency. You do not reach that point by giving all your energy away. You get there by looking inward and building from the ground up. When you invest in your mindset, habits, and skills, you create a foundation that cannot be shaken by outside opinion. You learn that external approval is not necessary. You know you are on track because you have put in the work, kept your promises, and grown stronger by facing discomfort instead of running from it. Focusing on yourself teaches you that the world can wait. The messages, the noise, and the distractions can pause, but your life, your growth, and your purpose cannot. If you do not make them your priority, no one else will. Some will not understand, and that is acceptable. Let others misunderstand. Let them say you've changed because you have. You are choosing to rise above distractions. You are choosing to put in the hours, to work quietly, to heal, to grow, and none of this requires an explanation. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to understand yourself so deeply that no amount of noise can take you off track. If you want to succeed, focus on yourself as if your future depends on it, because it does. Your freedom, your progress, and your fulfillment are not accidents. They happen when you act with intention, when you stop chasing approval from others, and start pursuing your own potential. There will be times when it feels lonely, when others seem to relax, socialize, or take it easy while you are at the gym, at your desk, or in your studies. But that season of isolation is temporary. The results last. By staying committed to yourself, you become someone who can lead, support, and inspire others. Not from exhaustion, but from strength. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It builds resilience. So ask, who or what is draining me right now? Where am I losing energy that could be used to build the life I want? Then take action. Have the needed conversation, set boundaries, silence the phone, rest earlier, practice stillness, move your body, whatever it is. Begin to. The longer you delay protecting your energy, the longer you delay growth. You are not here to just get through the day. You are here to thrive, to create, and to lead. That begins with how you manage your energy. Stop giving it to what does not matter. Reclaim it, protect it, and use it as the valuable resource it is. When you do, everything changes. Discipline is a form of self-respect. It is not punishment, restriction, or constant struggle. Discipline is keeping the promises you make to yourself, especially when it is difficult. Each time you follow through, you are not only building habits, you are building trust in yourself. That trust becomes the base of your confidence, which matters more than any burst of motivation. Discipline is not about waiting to feel ready. It is about taking action anyway. That perspective changes everything. Many people think discipline means constant sacrifice, saying no to all enjoyment and yes to hardship. That is not discipline. That is punishment. True discipline is a gift. It provides structure, clarity, and freedom. With discipline, you save energy, avoid decision fatigue, stop second-guessing yourself, and stop negotiating with excuses. You have already chosen who you are and what you stand for, and your actions reflect it. Starting a new goal feels exciting. The challenge comes later on day 10, day 30, day 90, when the excitement fades and consistency becomes the test. That is where discipline matters. It is the difference between those who only try and those who succeed. Success is not built in quick bursts. It is built in the daily, unglamorous effort, showing up even when no one sees, especially when no one sees. The truth is, no one is coming to rescue you. No one will pull you out of bed or build your dream for you. That responsibility is yours. If you do not respect yourself enough to do the work, you will always wait for a life that never arrives. But with discipline, you stop waiting and begin creating. Discipline is not an inborn trait. It is a skill. Like a muscle, it grows with consistent use. You start small and follow through on simple commitments. Wake up when you said you would. Finish what you begin. Stay with the plan even when you are tired. Each time you do, you reinforce the message. I can count on myself. When you believe that, your capacity expands. Discipline also sets the standard for how others treat you. When people see you hold yourself to high expectations, they respond accordingly. They view you as reliable, serious and committed, someone who does not make excuses. That shifts your relationships, your opportunities, and your future. Still, there will be days when motivation is absent, when you feel like giving in to comfort. In those moments, remind yourself why you started. Do not let temporary feelings decide. Let your commitment decide. That is the line between amateurs and professionals. Amateurs act when convenient. Professionals act because it matters. Ask yourself, what kind of life do I want to live? What work brings me energy? What kind of person do I want to become? Without answers, you drift. Scrolling, comparing, staying stuck. Clarity ends comparison. When you know your purpose, you are less distracted by others' success. You can appreciate them while staying aligned with your own path. That is real growth. Moving beyond competition into creation. The world does not need another copy of someone else. It needs you, fully committed and fully focused. And when comparison appears, and it will, pause and redirect your attention. Ask, what do I want? What am I building? What step can I take today? That is how you stay in control. That is how you protect your direction. No one else defines success for you. No one sets your pace. The only race you are running is against the version of yourself from yesterday. That is the person to measure yourself against, the only comparison that matters. So when you catch yourself watching someone else's life like a movie, remind yourself that you have your own story to write, and it will not get written if you are busy reading another person's script. Your direction is personal and valuable. Protect it, focus on it, and trust it. The more you do, the more aligned, confident, and steady you become. But remember, you cannot give what you do not have. You cannot keep offering your energy to work, relationships, or the world without taking time to refill yourself. Many people forget this. They keep pushing until they are drained, bitter, and burnt out, wondering why nothing feels right. The reason is simple. They forgot one of the rules of growth. Rest is not weakness. It is essential. Our culture often glorifies hustle, teaching us to measure worth by how busy we are, how much we produce, and how much we sacrifice. But productivity without direction is simply burnout disguised as success. Real progress comes from knowing when to push and when to pause. That pause, that rest, that space to breathe. That is where clarity returns, creativity renews, and strength rebuilds. Rest is not only about sleep, though sleep is vital. Rest also means reconnecting with yourself. It means silencing distractions, putting away your phone and checking in honestly. Are you inspired or just exhausted? Are you acting in line with your goals or only reacting to outside pressure? You do not find those answers in constant busyness. You find them in stillness. Rest may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you link your value to productivity. You may feel guilty or anxious for stepping back. That is normal and also a sign that you need rest even more. Your worth is not tied to output. It is inherent. When you believe that, your actions shift, not from pressure, but from intention. Prioritizing rest is not moving away from your goals. It strengthens your ability to achieve them. Think about athletes. They train hard but also recover, because without recovery their performance suffers. The same applies to your mind, creativity and energy. Without time to reset, you cannot perform at your best. Running only on adrenaline leads to burnout, and speed alone is not the same as progress. Rest also provides perspective. Without it, it's easy to stay trapped in the details, chasing tasks without remembering why you started. Rest allows you to step back, reconnect with your vision, your values and your purpose. When you return to your work, your relationships and your goals, you do so with greater clarity, stronger focus, and renewed energy. But rest requires permission. It is not a luxury, it is a skill. It takes strength to admit you need a break. It takes courage to pause when everything around you says keep going. The strongest people are those who know how to protect their energy, safeguard their peace, and recover with intention. They understand that a rested mind makes wiser choices, a rested heart forms deeper connections, and a rested body performs at its best. Rest can take many forms. It may be a walk outdoors, journaling quietly, a weekend away from social media, a night of uninterrupted sleep, or time spent on something you enjoy for its own sake, not because it is productive. Whatever form it takes, it must be non-negotiable. If you wait until exhaustion forces you to stop, it is already too late. You are not a machine, you are human. The more you honor your limits, your natural rhythms, and your need for space, the more sustainable your success will be. The goal is not only to achieve more, but to live fully, to build a life that feels fulfilling on the inside, not just impressive on the outside. Rest is not laziness and not a sign of giving up. It is a necessary part of the process. Growth does not happen in spite of rest. It happens through rest. When you embrace that truth, you become clearer, stronger, and more consistent. Your circle also matters more than you may realize. The people around you either fuel your growth or hold you back. They either encourage you to rise higher or make you feel smaller to stay accepted. If lasting success is your aim, you must evaluate who has access to you. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. Energy is contagious, whether you notice it or not. Those closest to you influence how you think, how you speak, and how you act. Over time you begin to adopt their habits, echo their beliefs, and even mirror their limitations. A friend who constantly complains or blames others can pull you into the same mindset. A family member who dismisses your goals or calls them unrealistic can make you doubt yourself. These influences shape you gradually, which is why awareness of your circle is essential. Over time, the doubt of others can become your own. You start to shrink, not because you lack potential, but because the people around you make playing small seem safer. Yet safety is not the same as growth. Comfort may feel good, but nothing meaningful is built there. Growth requires challenge. It takes people who stretch you, who hold you accountable, who encourage you to rise higher. It takes friends who remind you of your strength when you forget, mentors who push you when you fall short, and partners who believe in your vision even when you doubt yourself. That kind of support does not appear on its own. You have to choose it, and it begins with boundaries. You must be willing to say no to energy that holds you back. Sometimes that means creating distance from people you have known for years. It may mean stepping away from conversations that are negative, draining, or toxic. That is not cold, it is clarity. Your energy is too valuable to spend on relationships that do not serve your future. You do not owe anyone access to your life simply because of time. Longevity is not loyalty, alignment is. The people in your life should reflect where you are going, not only where you have been. If you are the most driven and focused person in your circle, it may be time to elevate. Seek out people who inspire you to aim higher, people whose actions challenge you in the best way, people who have already walked the road you want to take. Success often leaves clues, and sometimes those clues come in the form of other people. It is also important to accept that you can outgrow relationships. And that is okay. Outgrowing someone does not mean you no longer care. It means your paths no longer align. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to protect your peace as you evolve. In fact, you must. Because your future is shaped by your environment. And your environment is shaped by the people you allow into it. You need people who speak life into your goals, who celebrate your wins, and who challenge your excuses. People who see your potential, even when you can't. Those are the voices worth keeping, not the ones who gossip, complain, or dismiss your dreams, not the ones who project their fears onto your ambitions. You do not need a large crowd. You need a trusted crew. Even a few aligned people can shift the direction of your life. So ask yourself, who is in my circle right now? Who am I spending time with, listening to, and learning from? Are they helping me grow, or keeping me stuck? Be honest. The quality of your life is closely tied to the quality of your relationship. The more intentional you are about your circle, the more supported, focused, and empowered you will become. You are not meant to do this journey alone, but you are also not meant to carry those who refuse to grow. Build a circle that reflects your value. Surround yourself with people who energize you, not drain you. Those who push you to think bigger instead of settle for less, who celebrate your wins and challenge you when you stall. In the end, your environment is either your engine or your anchor. Choose wisely, because your success depends on it. When you begin to focus on yourself, not from ego but from purpose, you start to see how much of your life was shaped by trying to prove yourself to others. You notice the choices made to be liked, to be accepted, to keep the peace, or to gain approval. The moment you break free from that need for validation, everything shifts. The truth is, you owe no one an explanation for wanting more for yourself. This is your life, your single chance. And if you spend it living for others' expectations, you may wake up realizing you built a life that doesn't even belong to you. You pursued goals that didn't fulfill you, stayed in places that held you back, silenced your voice to avoid judgment, and gave away your energy to keep others comfortable, who were never going to understand your vision anyway. Validation feels good in the moment, a quick boost when someone praises your progress or applauds your success, but if you rely on it, you'll never feel steady. The instant the applause fades, or worse, turns to criticism, you start doubting yourself again. That is the cycle. The only way out is to build your worth from within. Believe in your goals even when no one else does. Keep going even when no one notices. Trust your vision, your instincts, your calling, especially when others do not understand, and they often won't. They are not supposed. Your vision was given to you, not them. If you wait for everyone else to agree before you act, you will never begin. The truth is, not everyone will support you. Not everyone will understand your changes, your boundaries, or your new path. Some will feel threatened by your growth. Others will project their fears onto you. Some may even try to hold you back, not out of malice, but because your courage reminds them of what they have avoided. That is not your burden. Your responsibility is not to make others comfortable. It is to stay aligned with what is true for you. There is freedom in letting go of the need to be understood. There is strength in saying, "This is what I want, this is who I am becoming, and I do not need anyone's permission to pursue it." That kind of confidence cannot be given. It has to be built step by step, day after day, by choosing to trust yourself, to keep showing up, and to keep moving forward, even when it feels lonely or uncertain. You don't need a crowd cheering you on to stay consistent. You don't need every friend or family member to approve of your choices. What you need is you, the inner drive that says, "I'm doing this because it's who I'm meant to be." That is where real success begins. Not with outside applause but with steady commitment. The more you release the need for approval, the more space you create for authenticity. And authenticity is powerful. When you live as your true self, without masks or pretenses, the right people connect with you, the right opportunities align, and the right energy flows. But that only happens when you stop performing for others and start living for yourself. Stop asking, what will they think? And start asking, what do I think? What do I want? Who do I want to become? That shift in focus is everything. That's where your strength lies. That's how you reclaim your voice, your direction, your life. You are not here to blend in. You are here to grow, to challenge old patterns, to follow purpose, and to write a new story. And that requires courage. Courage to disappoint some people in order to stay true to yourself. Courage to be misunderstood, to walk alone at times, and to risk judgment. The alternative is a half-lived life, full of regrets, shaped by other people's expectations. You were made for more than that. So stand firm, choose yourself, and commit to your vision, even if no one else applauds it. Because the moment you stop depending on validation from others is the moment you become truly unstoppable.